Good afternoon, everyone. Good early evening, wherever you may be, and welcome inside the Spurlock Center on the campus of Franklin College in Franklin, Indiana, for today's broadcast of Franklin College basketball here on Grizz TV, presented by Hubler Automotive Group. Today's opponent is a familiar conference foe, Transylvania. The Pioneers arrive out of Lexington, Kentucky, with a losing record, which is abnormal for them. They were in the preseason selected to be number 2 in the HCAC. They are currently in 6th place. They've played 3 conference games, and they've only won one of them. They're behind the Grizzlies, who are currently in 4th place and 5-4 overall. My name's Jonathan Mathis, and happy to have you with us here. It's going to be an interesting matchup. It's an old matchup between these teams, and over the next 7 minutes and 50 seconds or so, maybe just 7, we'll see when they get ready for the anthem. We'll go through the history of this matchup between these two teams, what's been going on lately for the two opponents, and our starting lineups for today's game. The first time these two teams played each other was back in 1960. Transylvania won that matchup in a high-scoring affair, 89-76. And these are typically pretty high-scoring games. The last 20 times these two teams have met, they have scored almost 6,161 points combined. Last time these two teams played each other, it was the third lowest scoring in that stretch. They scored 134 points between them, which was nearly 30 points less than they typically do. So you can normally assume that even though Franklin wants to be defensive-minded, that these games can get pretty high scoring. This will be the 71st time that Transy and Franklin have played each other. Transylvania has the all-time lead in the series, 49-21, looking for their 50th win today. They did so. They had a really strong run in the mid-20 teens, late 2009, and they won 9 straight from 09 to 13. And they really had Franklin's number, but of late, the Grizzlies have fought back in that. They have won 4 of the last 7. And in the Spurlock Center, it hasn't really gone Franklin's way. Transylvania, of the last 19 times played here in the Spurlock Center, it's been friendly confines for the Pioneers, who have won 13 of those contests. They have played in the HCAC tournament several times. They had a really steady run. They played 3 out of 4 years in a row in the tournament, and those matchups were split. So it's pretty common, evenly matched up. That's typically the case, even when Transylvania has the edge in the overall series. Typically the games are close. Last time they played each other was on this past February, on February 3rd. Transylvania won that one by 10 here in Franklin. Zach Larimore had 21 points for the Pioneers. He is gone. Hunter Penn had 12 points and 12 rebounds. He is here. No Grizzly had over 11 points, and Franklin was outshot 44-39 and out-rebounded 41-29. Now, the rebounding advantage does not seem to be as robust this year as it did then. Franklin is 3rd in the HCAC in rebounds with over 37 rebounds per game. Transylvania is 4th with 36.6, just 0.5 of a rebound less than the Grizzlies. The rebounding presence is Hunter Penn, who had that double-double last game against the Franklin, but Franklin can counteract that with 2 players who are rebounding very well. Len King is 4th in the conference in rebounding, and Logan Hudges is 5th in the conference in rebounding. Both are over and right around 6.5 rebounds per game. So the matchup should be a little neutralized. It'll come down to the scoring, which is atypical for Transylvania. They have not been a very good shooting team. From 3, they shoot 32%, which is 9th best in the HCAC and 251st best in the country. In 3 points allowed, they are allowing 40.3 percent per game. That is also 9th in the HCAC and almost last in the country. They are 404th in the country in opponent three-point percentage. They have struggled at the free throw line. They're almost 400th in the country in that category. shooting a mere 58% from the free throw line. That's 10th best in the HCAC. Their opponents are scoring a lot. They're the ninth. They are the second worst scoring defense in the conference at 78.7 points per game. However, all that being said, they did play maybe the toughest non-conference schedule that you can find. Their non-conference opponents had a combined win percentage of 62, including Elmhurst, who's 8-4 and ranked, Wheaton, who's 8-2, Hampton Sydney, who they played in a Nashville tournament just a few days ago. They're 9-3, and the Roanoke Maroons are 9-1. So they have tested themselves, and that's what they're bringing to this matchup. And it'll be interesting to see how that translates in a series that has been very close for the last several years. The starting lineups for today's game, with the visiting Pioneers, in their front court, there's two young men. Number 35, Hunter Penn, a sophomore forward, 6'5", from Versailles, Kentucky. He is averaging 10.4 points per game and third best in the conference, 8.3 rebounds. Number 21, Simon Smith, is a 6'3" junior forward from Louisville. Went to St. X High School, St. Xavier in Louisville. He's averaging 9.6 points per game and has been shooting the ball very well lately, averaging 43.8% from the field. In the backcourt, Dakota Capps is number 11, a freshman guard, 6'1", from Clarksville, Indiana, leads the team and second best in the conference at 3.9 assists per game. Cody Napier, number 20, is a 6'4" sophomore guard from Hindman, Kentucky. He averages 11 points per game, 20th best in the HCAC, and he is the Pioneers' best free throw shooter, 93% on the season. Their final starter is Jalen Green, a number 4, 6'1", junior guard from Lexington, Kentucky. Didn't go that far for college. He has been averaging 13.6 points per game, 11th best in the conference. For the Grizzlies, who are in the mold of Chris Hamilton, their head coach, improving defensively by the game. They're the second best defense in the HCAC, averaging 65.2 points per game. They have the second best field goal percentage defense, second best three-point percentage defense. Opponents get to the line just 9 times per game, and Franklin has a lead in the rebounding matchup over the course of this year. They lead the conference in assists per game, and they're right in the middle in turnovers. They come out ahead overall, plus 3.6. The Grizzlies, who have won 3 of their last 4, start thusly. First-time starter, number 34, Jack Hendricks, a 5'11" sophomore guard from Kettering, Ohio, gets the start today. Logan Hudges will come off the bench for the first time this year. In the backcourt with Jack is number 11, Cody Samples, a 6'1" sophomore guard from Versailles, Indiana, leads the team in assists at 2.7 per game. Trey Flatt is the third guard, 6'2", from Indianapolis, a sophomore guard, averaging over 10 points per game, shooting 30%, second best in the conference from 3. The front court is Lynn King, number 13, 6'4", sophomore, combo guard forward from South Bend, Indiana, leads the team in rebounding at 6.9. He's played great. We'll touch on that more. And Carter Crow, number 15, is senior forward, 6'5", from Greenwood, Indiana, leads the Grizzlies in points, field goal percentage, three-point percentage, and free throws. And now we'll listen in on Matt Smith as he introduces the national anthem. about to go up. Coaching matchup is experience versus relative, well, real inexperience. Chris Hamilton, first year with the Grizzlies, is 5-4. And Brian Lane, who followed his dad at Transylvania. Don Lane was there from the 70s, 1975 to 2001, 26 years. Brian picked up where he left off, and he's in his 22nd season with the Pioneers with a 341 to 220 record all time. He is looking for, I believe, his 23rd win against the Grizzlies. They're 22-9 against Franklin. And the starters are as we gave them to you, and the ball is tipped, and here comes Transylvania. Interesting of note, a big absence for Transylvania. Not dressing today is Dan Mullins, a freshman, their best three-point shooter for the Pioneers. He's not even listed in the scoring book at the scoring table, as the first point field goal attempt of the game is errant by the Pioneers, and here are the Grizzlies' first offensive possession, 30 seconds into the game. Carter Crow from the elbow. Lynn King stripped on his way up to the basket. That was Jalen Green, the very talented junior, who had the ball poked away by Trey Flatt, who is the energizer bunny for this team. He has a steal in each of the last now 6 straight games, including that one. Samples a little bold, tried to flick it around to Hendricks, and it was stolen away. Hunter Penn had the ball, and now here comes the point guard, Dakota Capps. Freshman, started all but the first 2 games of the year for Transylvania, number 11 in black. That's him with the ball right now. Guarded tightly by Hendricks, 15 on the shot clock, flicked all the way into the corner. Took too long to get there, which slowed down Simon Smith. He regathers and was well short on a 3. Scoreless, 18 minutes, 45 seconds here in the first half. Flatt goes up strong and off the glass and in. Scoring drought is over, and Trey Flatt has found the bottom of the barrel. He has been hot and cold this year. He has shot over 41% in 5 of the games and under 14% combined in the other 4. So he's either on or off, and he gets the first bucket here. Hopefully it bodes well for the Grizzlies. That pass right to Carter Crow. Here's Flatt, the sophomore from Indianapolis, crosses over Smith, shovel hands it under to Kettering. Back up to Flatt, and by Kettering I mean Hendricks. He's from Kettering, Ohio. And another turnover, a little sloppy beginning to this game for both of these teams as Jalen Green regathers it. Just inside 18 minutes to play, first half. Capps with the ball. Franklin switching. It seems like Flatt is staying on whoever has the ball, at least running the point. Jalen Green attacks on Samples, leaves it back. Simon Smith dials up 3 and connects this time. And Transylvania has their first lead of the game. Simon Smith shooting 34% from deep this season, 45% overall. And Transylvania has a 1-point lead. Inside 17 and a half to go here in the first. Lynn King, guarded by Smith, who just hit the 3. Back to all the way to the volleyball lines in the middle of the court. Gives it to Hendricks, making his first career start as a Grizzly. Transferred in from Hawking, lobs it to nobody, but it found King, but the shot clock went off, so it took too long, and a shot clock violation against Franklin, and there's another turnover. I believe it is the 3rd turnover of the game for Franklin. 17 minutes to go, first half. Jalen Green working on the first sub of the game. Ryan Bostic goes up strong with the right hand, couldn't get it to go. Swimming over, Hendricks was Penn to force the rebound out to Capps. Capps creates some space, 15 to shoot. Penn shrugs off King, goes up and with a strong right hand, doinks it home. Shades of Rick Smits when he was playing here in Indiana with the Pacers, and it's a 3-point lead for Transylvania. Down to Bostic, outside Crow, dials up from the corner and hits a 3. We're tied at 5, 16:25 on the clock, and it's running as Smith brings the ball up. Logan Hudges, who did not start today, is now summoned to the scorer's table along with Nathaniel Hoffman. Penn's working underneath the rim, couldn't get it to go. Another offensive rebound for Transylvania. Hendricks ties it up, and the jump ball is called, and Hendricks will jog off a little gimpily as subs come in for Franklin. Hoffman is in, Hudgens is in, Flat's back in. Bostic and Crow stay on the floor. So it's Hudgens, Bostic, Crow, Hoffman, and Flat are the 5 Grizzlies. There has been a sub for Transylvania. Colby Napier is in the game. He has been a wonderful player for them. First time he's come off the bench this season. 11th appearance, averaging 11, or he started, never mind. He has averaged 11 points per game. We're inside 16 minutes to play the first half. 5-5, Flat looks to change the lead. Up he goes, draws the foul. That's on Dakota Caps. His first, team's first. And we're under the 16 mark, which means we're going to a media timeout. Only one other game in action today in the HCAC, and that is Bluffton playing Miami Hamilton in Ohio. Well, I guess both teams are in Ohio. They're at the 14-minute mark, and Miami Hamilton leads Bluffton 12-11. Looking at the conference standings, Manchester continues their impressive pace. They started the year 0-4. They have won 5 straight. They are now 5-4 overall. They're 4-0 in conference, and they lead the HCAC. Anderson is 3-0 in the conference, playing in second place. Hanover's 3-1 in third, and 6-3 overall. Franklin's 1-1. I slot them ahead of Rose-Hulman, who's 2-2 by conference record. Franklin is 1 game over 500 overall. Rosie is 1 game under. Transylvania is in 6th place, and they're the first of 3 1-2 teams. Bluffton playing today is 2-6 overall. Mount St. Joseph's 2-7 overall. Defiance and Earlham are 9 and 10th. Defiance and Earlham are looking for their first conference win as conference play has begun. And Defiance is 5-5 overall. So they were 5-2 in the non-conference and have not won in conference play. 15 minutes, 46 seconds on the clock as Trey Flack goes to the line where he's been shooting 70% this season. The first is good. Flat has 3 points. That ties him with Carter Crow for the moment, and the Grizzlies have taken the lead for the second time. The second's good as well. He is now 9 for 14 from the free throw line, or 9 for 12 from the free throw line. And he has given the Grizzlies the lead, and he is the leading scorer for Franklin, Trey Flat is, with 4 points. It's 7-5. Smith swings it outside to Matthew Teague, who started the first few games for Transylvania, and he drives strong and lays it in. His first 2 points of the contest, and we're tied at 7 with 15.5 to go in this game. Early in the first half, at least. Carter Crow hit a 3 earlier. That's Trey Flat with the ball. Jab stepping over to Crow, almost a catch and release 3. Carter thought better of it. Here's Hudgens, pretty far out, gives it back to Crow. Not much movement for Franklin. They have 9 seconds to work with as we tick closer to 15 minutes left in the first half. Bostic's got to hurry. He's got 3 seconds. Step back 3, splash! Bostic shooting 44% from 3, which is outstanding, but second best on the Grizzlies. Carter Crow is 11th best in the country, let alone best in the HCAC at 55% from 3. He's also 1 for 1 today. Caps looks down low. All alone down there was Kobe Napier, who has another point. That's his first 2 of the game. Grizzlies lead by 1. Into the corner, Carter Crow, 3-ball corner pocket, but sailed it into the arms of Smith. Racing up the floor is Matthew Teague. Now it's Caps. Caps was left alone for a moment, steps by Hoffman, tried to throw it inside, and the ball was kicked. 14 minutes, 16 seconds on the clock. Franklin has hit 3 of their last 4 field goals. They're shooting 75% on the day. 2 for 3 from deep, perfect at the line. Transylvania shooting 44%, not bad. They're down by 1, but not anymore. A nice pirouette in the lane by Simon Smith, and he now has 5 points. Flat on the other end, the net barely moved. Trey Flat has 7. And he is on a torrid pace again today. He's now 2 for 2 from the field and a game-high 7 points. Into the game, the Australian, Luke Schroeder, number 44, and there's a ball deflected out of bounds. And Franklin will get it. Cody Samples was bopped in the nose. He's got a wad of gauze in his right nostril. Oh, it'll be having to filter through the old mouth this time. I don't think. Ooh, there's a whistle, and we'll see. Trey Flatt is discussing with the referee. Chris Hamilton summoned Flatt over. And our referees are conferring. It might have been technical on Trey Flatt. We're a little far away, so we're trying to infer from a distance. We'll have to listen in on our PA announcer most likely. So, double technicals were called. One on Trey Flatt, who has picked up a tech this year, I believe. It's his first foul, and Dakota Caps, who's sitting on the bench, picked up the other one. Too much jawing back and forth. Franklin leads by 2, 13 minutes, 40 seconds to go. That pass from Samples went nowhere. In transition, Teague ducks it down low. Smith lays the defense. Too strong in the putback. Schroeder can't get there. King has it, and up come the Grizzlies. Bounces up to Samples. Nice whirl around to control the ball. Up top to Hoffman. Deflected by Smith. Smith the other way with 13:20 on the clock. Dunks it in. Simon Smith has 7. Timeout on the floor. Franklin's frustrated. Transylvania's elated, and we're tied at 13 with 13 minutes, 16 seconds to go. It's a 30-second timeout by the Grizzlies, and we'll take it with them. All right, timeout over. Transylvania showing full court pressure. Franklin able to get it in. King is able to find Samples as he races up the floor. King plants his feet in concrete, now drives through the defender, and the ball is off of Transylvania. King looking for a foul, a blocking foul on Smith. He does not get the call. And so with 13 minutes and 7 seconds, Franklin will inbound it, 23 on the shot clock. But now they're trying to scrub out some perspiration on the floor. Samples to inbound it. Lobs it high to Lynn King, who's been playing some great basketball of late. King, last 2 games shooting 63% from the field, averaging 16 and change points per game. He almost got a rebound there, but it was claimed by Napier. In transitions, Green. Simon Smith, Napier around the bend. Teague drives, baseline. Could have gone for the layup. Finds Green, who hits a 3. Jalen Green, 41% from deep, 9th best in the HCAC, gives Transylvania the lead. And now they get another turnover. Franklin's committed a few of those. That is number 8. In transition, 3 up, 3 not down by Smith. And a whistle, I think, over the back on Schroeder. That's the 3rd foul on Transylvania of this half. There's 12 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in it as Malachi Archie subbed back in the game, or into the game for the first time. Indianapolis native, went to Park Tudor High School, same high school as Yogi Farrell, who dazzled at his time there and at IU. Trey Flatt drives, doinks it, didn't have enough on it. Teague has the rebound, and here comes Transy in transition. Teague whirling around, had Lynn King looking with the eyes in the back of his head as the ball is rotated over to Green from the corner. He fires it back inside. Penn backing down to smaller Samples, too strong on the putback. Schroeder couldn't get it. Another rebound by Penn, another rebound by Schroeder, and then King able to bounce it to Crow, and then a push from Schroeder, who has picked up his second foul in quick succession to his first. And a media timeout, we'll take it as well. 11 minutes, 46 seconds to go. Transylvania leads here in the first half over Franklin at the Spurlock Center on Grizz TV, presented by Hubler Automotive Group. Timeout over. Franklin trails. Transylvania has led for just over 2 minutes of this game. Franklin has also led for just over 2 minutes of this game. It's been pretty even. Archie, catch and release three is no good. Into the arms of Lynn King, who flings it up top. Crow misses. Tipped out by Samples. He tumbles to the floor. Teague in transition. Has a couple of men in front. That's deflected away by Lynn King. It is off him, and everybody will reset. Franklin has been scoreless for the last 2 minutes and 38 seconds. They've made one of their last 6 field goals from the field. Transylvania is on a 5-0 run, and they're looking to add to that as the masked man subs in. Alex Madsen gets it to Penn, way outside his zone. Now Teague settles it in. 11 minutes, 25 seconds to go, first half, which Transylvania leads by 3. Also in the game is Walker Kyle for Transylvania, making his 8th appearance of the game, of the year. That foul is on the floor, and it is on Jacob Deere, who is making his first appearance since playing against Defiance back on December 3rd. Second team foul on Franklin. No bonus for anybody, at least not yet. Franklin's getting close. Teague, a whirl, a float, a miss. Archie the rebound. He's got wings on either side. He's got Bostic towards his left. Ryan breaks in. Flat breaks in. He goes up top to Samples. Just inside 11 minutes to play, first half. Here's Jacob Deere. Now Bostic off the Deere screen to Samples. Dials up three from the top and hit it. That is now the 5th straight game that Cody Samples has hit a 3. He's averaging 8.2 points per game. Tied at 16, fouled on Deere. Jacob Deere commits his second foul, trying to muscle Hunter Penn down low. That's a tough load. Jalen Love subs in for Samples. Deere stays in. Penn so far is a couple of rebounds. And going 8 minutes. Inside Teague gives Transylvania back the lead. They have 4 points. He has 4 points. It's a 2-point Pioneer lead with just inside 10.5 to go in the first half. Flat up top to Deere. Deere looking for help. Love from the free throw line extended, works his way in. A pivot up top, deflected to Deere. Now Bostic has Teague in his face. Teague has a size advantage. Up top to Flat from deep. Left short. Bostic gets the rebound. Shot clock resets after that first one from Flat hit the rim. Archie from the corner. Dangerous pass saved by Madsen. Flings it haphazardly. Flat gets it and is run into by Penn, which gives Hunter Penn his first foul of the game, and now the 5th on Transylvania. So far, Transylvania has out-rebounded Franklin 10-8, which feels more than that, but isn't. Franklin is out shooting the Pioneers 46 to 40 from the field, although they trail on the scoreboard. So the stats aren't as they appeared, as it seems. 9:35 to go. Flat backs down, free throw line. Scoops around Green, can't get it to go. Almost got his rebound. Archie had it, was stripped by Teague. He has the ball from midcourt. Bullets it deflected by Bostic. Here's Archie. The turnover fest continues for both of these teams. Flat pops three, no. Off the back of the rim. Rebound by Penn. Two players tumble to the floor. It's Madsen and Archie, and a foul's on one of them. Madsen's holding his forearm. And here comes our referee, and the foul is on Malachi Archie, his first. That's the fourth on Franklin. 9 minutes, 17 seconds to play. 2-point ball game here in the Spurlock Center. Madsen will bring it up. Bostic hanging with him. Bostic on the golf team for Franklin. Multi-sport athlete at the college level, rare but cool to see. Joined the basketball team just because he loved it. The ball bounced down low to Teague. Love giving up size to Teague. Swipes at him. Teague goes through it. The ball is volleyed into the air. Hassled down by Teague. Green from the corner. No, it rattled in and out. Len King snags the rebound, his fourth. Quickly up the floor come the Grizzlies. Archie goes baseline, and he stepped out of bounds. Oh, it's another turnover by Franklin. Franklin has turned it over 9 times. Transylvania has turned it over 6 times. 15 turnovers between these two teams. Not what they're used to. Franklin has turned it over on average 12 times per game this year. Transylvania turns it over 16 times. So Franklin is being forced into mistakes, maybe pressing a little bit. Here's Penn with that 2-point lead, deflected out. Jalen Love has a man ahead of him. It's Len King. He takes off and swiped away by Penn. Nice block by Hunter. The Versailles, Kentucky native, went to Woodford County High School. Came from behind, a little trail technique, and swatted that away as Len was beginning to extend the ball towards the rim. 8.5 to go, first half. Franklin looking to regain that lead. No points for a while. It's been scoreless for over 2 minutes. And a timeout taken by Len King. And it will be a media timeout as well, so we will have no under 8 timeout. We'll take it here. That means we can check the out-of-town scoreboard, that Bluffton game. The only other HCAC matchup going on. Bluffton trails Miami-Hamilton 28-19 on their home court. There's 5 minutes and 43 seconds to go in that one. Bluffton shooting 35%. Miami-Hamilton shooting 50% from the field. That's pretty outstanding. Leading scorer for Bluffton is Michael Stammen, who has 6 points. Brady Wheeler has 5. Ryan Marshall for Miami-Hamilton has 9. By the way, the Military Bowl that was going on earlier, Duke won that 30-13. Franklin will be going on the road coming up in the new year. They have one more game before New Year's Day. It's on New Year's Eve at Earlham. So Saturday, December 31st, check your calendars. Grizzlies go to Earlham at 1 p.m. Earlham is struggling this year. They are 1-8 on the young season. Then they go to the tough opponent, Rose-Hulman, currently tied with Franklin on win percentage in conference play. That's at 7:30 on Wednesday, and then Franklin comes home to play Anderson and Hanover the next week. Len King gets the inbound. It was a little tricky. Now it's up to Ryan Bostic. 22 seconds on the shot clock, inside 8.5 on the game clock. Trey Flat's looking to sub back in as Crow had an opening from the top of the key, flings it to Samples, and Cody misses what would have been his second made 3 of the game. So the score stays the same. Grizzlies trail by 2. Caps playing with 2 fouls. Up top, down low, here's Penn, good. Cleared out some space, and the shot clock didn't reset. Quickly stopped by our officials. But Hunter Penn has 4 points now to to go with three rebounds and a block. So shot clock all reset. 8 minutes, 1 second. And well, the shot clocks have not been reset. It's all confuzzled at the moment. One shot clock says 11 seconds on one end of the floor. The other one is at the right mark, 30 seconds. So we have a technical gremlin that has infected the shot clocks here at the Spurlock Center. Now one has been reset to 20. That looks good. The other one's still at 11. That pesky 11 is just hanging in there. And so with 8 minutes and 1 second to go, we have an assistant coach, we've got a technical guy, we've got 3 officials, we've got someone manning the scoreboard. Everyone's trying to compress all the decisions to get on a scoreboard switch off. We're just resetting everything here in the Spurlock Center. So it's 20 to 16, scoreboard switched off. They're trying to reboot it all with 8 minutes and 1 second to go in the first half. Some stats for you. They've reset it, and the shot clock saying 11 is still at 11. But percentages, Franklin started at a torrid pace. That's cooled off. They're now 5 of 15 from the field. That's 33%. Transylvania is a little bit better, 9 for 23. That's 39%. But telling, Transylvania's gotten up 8 more shots than the Grizzlies have. Franklin has shot better from deep. That is a theme for the whole year. Franklin shooting 36% from three-point range, 4th best in the HCAC. Transylvania shooting 32% from three-point range, 9th in the HCAC. And those have kind of borne out here today. Franklin is shooting just above their average, 36% from 3, 4 for 11. Transylvania is 33% from 3. They've only attempted 6 of them, and they've made a couple. Transy is out rebounding Franklin 14 to 10. Their leading rebounders are Teague and Penn, who each have 3. Len King has 4 for the Grizzlies. He's the leading rebounder for Franklin. Franklin has assisted on 3 of their 5 field goals. Ryan Bostic has 2 of them. Transylvania has assisted on 4 of their 9. No one has more than 1. There's 1 block in the game. That was by Walker Kyle. Not the one by Penn did not count. Instead, they just poked it away. Personal fouls, relatively even. 7 between them. 4 by Transylvania, 3 by Franklin. Transylvania has outscored the Grizzlies in the paint by a staggering 12 points. 14 to 2 is the advantage for Transylvania as the technical gremlins continue. Right now, instead of saying 8 minutes, 10 and 1 second, they just fixed it. It had said 80 minutes and 10 seconds instead of 8 minutes and 1 second. The shot clock is still not cooperating as we continue to go through the box score. Hunter Penn and Jalen Green have played a combined game-high 11 minutes. Several subs. Transylvania only dressed 10 players, and it looks like they played all 10. No, they played 9. Just counting there. Franklin has dressed their maximum 16. Connor McNabb was in the scorebook today. Their most minutes played was by Carter Crow and Trey Flatt, who have both played 10. Transylvania has scored 7 points off of Franklin's 9 turnovers. Franklin has scored 2 points off of Transylvania's 7. Second chance points, 2-0 in favor of the Pioneers. Fast break points, 3-2 in favor of the Grizzlies. 4 Grizzlies have scored. Trey Flatt has the most by a lot. He has 7, and then everybody else has 3. Cody Samples has 3. Carter Crow has 3. Ryan Bostic has 3. If you take out the 3-point shooting, Franklin has attempted 4 field goals and have made 1 of them. So they're 25% from 2, 36% from 3. And then Transylvania has attempted a ton. They've attempted 17 2-pointers and have made 7 of them. It's pretty good. So the shot clocks are off. We're just going off of the countdown from the referees, which will make it interesting. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Hopefully they can fix that at halftime. That number 11 still illuminating the shot clock above the east basket. And they're keeping track while the P announcer as Bostic hits a 3. Bostic now has 6. It's a 1-point game, 7 minutes, 40 seconds. And what's kind of neat is Isaac Slump has an iPhone out, and he's tracking the shot clock. And then Matt Smith, the PA announcer, will read off intervals, which will how we're going to keep track. There's 15 seconds on that shot clock, as said by Matt Smith. Now Glean from the left wing with 10 seconds to go. Works it inside, swings it around to Caps. Caps hits the brakes of the free throw line. 5 seconds shoot, left hand, didn't have a prayer. Kyle trying to doink it off the rim, doesn't get there. Shot clock violation. And Transylvania comes up empty on that possession. The Grizzlies will now have the ball and look to regain the lead. They had a good run of it, but Transylvania has now led in this game for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Franklin just under 3 minutes. Clock running, 7 minutes and 5 seconds to go first half. Bostic works it over towards the right side. Here's Carter Crow. 3 points so far for one of the leading scorers in the conference and one of the leading scorers in the country. Flat. Can't get it to Crow. Picks it out to Bostic. Now over to Crow. 3-ball corner pocket. Rolled around the rim and fell out. Caps in transition. Transylvania has numbers for the moment. Quickly up to Walker Kyle, and Hunter Penn rather, and he gracefully laid it in. Penn has 6 points, and Transylvania has that 3-point lead with 6:30 to go in the first half. Crow from the top of the key. Now here's Lynn King. Shot clock's officially off now. King twirls around with 15 to shoot, muscles up a jumper, or muscles up a layup, and has his first 2 points of the game. And that ball is deflected out. And so it was deflected off of the Grizzlies, so Transylvania will inbound it. Smith will do the honors. Gets it to Jalen Green. Green taking his time, 6:13 on the game clock. 1-point game, very closely contested like these matchups always are between these two teams. Caps up top to Green. With 15 seconds on the shot clock, as read by our PA announcer, the three's on the way and missed. Samples will let it roll out of bounds, and Franklin will take over. Another empty possession by Transylvania. They scored their last time, but they haven't been able to put them up lately. Franklin looking to take advantage. 5 minutes, 50 seconds to go, first half. Crow hands it off to Samples, right side, off the glass, in, and Grizzlies have retaken the lead. Samples has 5, and it's a 1-point Franklin lead with 5 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the first half. Deflected by Flat. Can he get there in time? He cannot. There's some chirping from the Transylvania bench wanting a technical on Flat after he's bounced the ball violently. It almost went halfway up the bleachers. Just straight up though, so no harm, no foul. Transy has the ball. Inside 5.5 minutes to go here in the first. Inside 15 seconds on the shot clock. It's at 10 now as Cap is fouled by Flat. That's the second on Trey. It's the 5th on Franklin here in the first. Still only 2 free throws by either team. I mean, 2 free throws combined. Those were both taken and made by Flat really early in the game. It's a 1-point lead for Franklin. 5 minutes, 10 seconds here in the first. Caps from the top of the key. Into the corner. Jalen Green hits iron. He hit iron twice on that 3-point attempt. Hunter Penn gets another rebound and then wings a pass that is too wide for Green. He picks it up, but it's an over and back, and Franklin will inbound it from that spot. Four minutes, 55 seconds left in the first half. And Carter Crow will inbound it. Samples, after receiving the inbound, bounces it to Crow, hands it back to Samples, it bounded out of his hands, and then Jalen Green had his hands in his hair. A foul is called. Foul is on Matthew Teague. That's his first, and Transylvania's 6th. 4 minutes, 48 seconds, so the bonus could come into factor here with with still so much time left in the first half. 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Samples from the paint. Bostic catch and release. Hits it from the top of the key. Ryan Bostic has made his third three-pointer today. He is now 3 for 3 from deep. And the Grizzlies have a 4-point lead. It's their largest of the game. Teague swings it around the horn they go. Into the corner. Napier rises. Lynn King had that all covered. It was altered. Penn's in trouble down below. Swinging his elbows to clear out some space. Up top it goes. Smith the three. Good! Simon Smith, the first player in this game, into double figures. And then a foul is called on Jalen Green as he tried to wrestle the ball away from Carter Crow. Brian Lane claps his hands in disbelief and frustration as it's the 7th foul on Transylvania, and the bonus is looming for Franklin, and they're going to be there for a while now. There's 4 minutes and 3 seconds left in the game. Brian Lane didn't like it, the bench didn't like it, but Carter Crow goes to the free throw line where he's 78% on the season, 7 of 9 on the year in real numbers, and he currently has 3 points. Makes the front end. It almost came out, it stayed down. Crow now has 4. Carter Crow has scored in double figures all 9 games this season. Made the second, he has 5. He was the HCAC Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. He averaged 21 points per game during that stretch. Right now, his team leads 28-25 inside 4 minutes to play, just barely. Simon Smith from the corner, glancing blow off the heel of the rim, quickly corralled to Napier, who misses a 3 off the far side of the rim. Penn gets the rebound. Napier almost dialed up 3 again. Smith almost travels. He gives it back to Napier. 3 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the first half. Now T kicks it to Simon Smith, dials up 3, misses. Penn the rebound, fouled, and it goes in, and Penn will be going to the line. He has 8 points at the moment. This is the first foul on Carter Crow. It's the 6th on the Grizzlies. There's 3 minutes and 29 seconds, as you see on that scoreboard, and we're going to immediate timeout. When we come back, Hunter Penn at the line for Transylvania. On the season, Hunter Penn is shooting 30% from the free throw line. It's definitely not his strength. He's great at everything else. Averages over 10 points per game, one of the best rebounders in the conference. But he is 6 of his last 20 from the free throw line. And that's exactly where he finds himself, with the opportunity to tie the game for Transylvania. He misses. Crow skies for the rebound. Looked like he just levitated. Here's Samples across the FC logo at center court. Green hangs tightly on him. Samples gets by. Bostic passes up his 4th three-point attempt of the game, but the floater falls, and Ryan Bostic off the bench is the leading scorer for Franklin, and the first one to double figures. He has 11. It's a 3-point lead for Franklin. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Samples pops out on Green. Around the bend to Teague. Teague up top to Smith. Simon Smith able to get it to Napier. Now it's back to Green. Every Pioneer has touched the ball on this end of the floor except for Penn, which is exactly where they go to him. He shrugs off Deere, and they're going to call a travel on Jacob Deere, to the chagrin of some of the referees in blue in the bleachers. So Transylvania will inbound it. 20 seconds on. Oh, the shot clocks work again. So 20 seconds on the shot clocks as Transylvania works it inside. Simon Smith is able to accumulate his 12th point of the contest. It's a 1-point game in favor of the home Grizzlies. 2.5 minutes to go, first half. Samples gives it to Lynn King, up top to Deere. Now it's Carter Crow. Crow has 5 points, well shy of his average 16, and he almost had a turnover. Might have counted. It's going to go all the way, and it's going to stay with Transylvania. Crow, I think he thought it was off of Transy. He just pointed at his chest. So Transylvania can take the lead with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in the first. Simon Smith catches it from the top of the key, wearing his Air Jordans. Looks like the vintage ones from 85. 84, really. Green airmails it, and King able to corral the rebound before it ended up in the hands of Deere. More like King slowed it down. Here is King to Deere, looks for 3, and got it! First made 3 of the year by Jacob Deere. He was 0 for 2 before that, and now he gives the Grizzlies a 4-point lead, matching their most for the game. Deere and Penn are battling on the block. It goes to Napier in the far corner. He misses it. It deflects off of Penn, who says no. But it's Grizzly ball with 1:45 to go here in the first half. Bostic will work it across midcourt. Slows the pace down. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time for Franklin to kill some time. They go down to Deere quickly, and pouncing on that ball was Matthew Teague. He raced up the floor as Green ahead of him. He rises, some contact, no call. Here is Bostic on the other way. 80 seconds to go, first half. Samples, baseline, finds Lynn King, 3-ball, corner pocket. No, off the back of the rim, but there's a loose ball foul. Matthew Teague can't believe it. And it's a push on Matthew Teague, his second. And it's a 1-and-1 opportunity for Jacob Deere as Teague will take a seat. Deere has not yet attempted a free throw this season, and here's his opportunity. He's got 1-and-1. The first is good. Flawless, actually. This is a new, now season high. It's his 4th game of the year, and he has 4 points. He had yet to score this season. The second's no good. Rebounded by Hunter Penn. It's a 5-point lead for Franklin, their biggest of the game. 65 seconds to go in half number 1. Madsen fed it over to Napier. Smith skips it to Green. Goes baselines, weaves his way into the paint, finds Smith, 3-ball, no good. Tracked down by Madsen. Transylvania resets, and there's a whistle down low and an offensive foul on Hunter Penn, and the Franklin bench erupted in joy. Second foul on Penn. That's number 9 on Transylvania. Penn will sit with 2 fouls. He's had a wonderful first half. 10 points, 8 rebounds, and Jacob Deere gets a great ovation from the Franklin fans. He battled and drew that foul, and he also made 4 points. Just what you hope for out of him. 40 seconds to go, first half. Samples gives it to Archie. Archie dropped the ball after Madsen ran into it. And here's Crow. Crow waves off Archie. Gives it to Samples. Samples wraps around into the lane, flings it out to King in the corner. The pass took too long to get there. Green was able to recover. It was poked away from King to Archie. Archie hooks around a defender, up with the right hand. No foul called for the chicken wing, but a push is going to be called. So it all evens out there, I guess. The foul is on Lynn King, his first. That's number 7 on Franklin. There's 16 and 7/10 seconds remaining in this first half, and Jalen Green will walk to the line. He's scored 3 points. He has a 1-and-1 opportunity. He's 50% from the line on the year, the junior from Lexington. The first free throw is good. That gives him 4. Second one is no good. Right at his average. Franklin has 14 seconds and a 4-point lead. The clock is now at 12. Samples trying to get around Madsen. Madsen hangs with him. Cody works it towards the middle of the floor. Creates some space. Has 5 seconds all by himself. Up he goes. Draws some contact and it kissed off the iron. And a foul is on Alex Madsen. It's his first. It's the 10th on Transylvania. It doesn't really matter now. As Samples goes to the free throw line. He has 5 points. First free throws in a while. He is 2 of his last 5 over the last 7 games. Cody Samples does not get to the line a lot, but he has 2 of them, and he misses the first. So now he's 2 of his last 6. Samples has shot the ball great from the field over the last 4 games, 60%. And he rattles in the second free throw. He has 6 points. Long pass swept away by Samples. Bostic has it, could get it off, does in time, no! Off the heel of the rim. What a play by Bostic. And we go to the halftime, 15 minutes on the clock. We'll take a long breather. Franklin leads by 5 at the break on Grizz TV. Presented by Huebler Automotive Group. It's Franklin 35, Transylvania 30. seconds left before the second half begins. Franklin leads by 5, 35 to 0, or 35 to 30, not 0. It is the biggest lead of the game for Franklin, 5 points. Actually, the whole game has been played in a 9-point spread. Transylvania's biggest lead was 4. Franklin's biggest lead is currently 5. We have been tied 4 times. Franklin has led for 43% of the game. Transylvania has led for 40%. Add that up, that means we were tied for a lot of it. Scoring percentages have gone up and down. All things together, we said that typically this is a pretty high scoring game. 65 points between the two teams through halfway means we are on pace for 130, which is lower than it typically is between these two. So we'll see how it plays out. Transylvania with the ball first. Jalen Green can't get around flat, all hopping around, leg extended. He's a pest to get around, and he would take that as a compliment. Green off a screen from Simon Smith down the right side, blocked by King into the waiting arms of Trey Flatt. Bostic bullets the pass up. It was deflected by Hunter Penn. He's able to corral it and get it to Dakota Caps. Dakota Caps breaks down Samples, goes up and draws the foul, and will go to the line for 2. It is the first foul of the game on Cody Samples, first foul of the second half on either team. And Dakota Caps, who was scoreless in the first half, averages 65% from the line on the year and averages 6.5 points per game. The freshman from Clarksville misses the first. He's 0 for 1 today from the field, now 0 for 1 from the line. He has another chance right now. Made the second. First point of the game for Dakota Caps, as we have played 40 seconds of the second half. Another close game between these two teams. Carter Crow, catch and release, hits a 3 ball from the corner pocket. That's 8 for Carter Crow. First points of the second half for Franklin, and it's their biggest lead at 7. Simon Smith down the lane, tried to float it in. It didn't roll over the front of the rim adequately enough. Kicks it, 3 on the way. Napier left that one a little too short. Foul on the floor. It looks like it's on Samples. Samples was in sheer shock. And Cody Samples picks up 2 quick fouls here in the second half. That is his second foul and the second team foul. 18 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the game. Smith down the lane, rises off the back of the rim, the side of the rim, the front of the rim, and the underside of the rim before it fell in. Full court pressure, or 3/4 court pressure from Transylvania. It's Flat, 3-ball corner pocket. Yes, sir, rattled it in. Flat now has his 9th career double-figure scoring performance. He has 10, and Franklin has an 8-point lead. 18 minutes, 15 seconds on that running clock. Smith hands it off to Jalen Green. Green works it towards his left, rises through into the corner, swings around. Smith was open. Caps took the J and missed it. Rebound tipped by Penn to himself. He had another rebound by Hunter Penn. That's his 9th. And then the ball is deflected off of Penn, and it will be Grizzly basketball. And Franklin could go up double figures for the first time today. Bostic, the quiet Spurlock center. Jay, lefty, no good. First game after Christmas, 1 of 2 before New Year's. Franklin could really keep pace with an exciting top half of the HCAC with a win tonight. Transylvania could stay alive. Penn inside's good. A dozen for Hunter Penn. He and Simon Smith have combined for 26 of their 35 points. Carter Crow. It's Samples on the top of the key. Gives it to Bostic. Bostic to Crow. They're weaving in the paint as well. Here's Lynn King. Just beyond the free throw line. Gives it to Crow. Hits another 3. Carter Crow, one of the best 3-point shooters in the country, has hit his second 3 of this half. He is now 3 for 7 from deep and has 11 points. It is now the 10th game of the season out of 10 that Carter Crow has been in double figures, and he joins two other Grizzlies at that mark. Penn shrugs off Samples, then blocked by King. And a whistle, I think a technical has been called. Yeah, technical on Lynn King. It's a second. A little too vocal by the sophomore from South Bend. Carter Crow trying to calm him down. King pleading his case to a head coach, Chris Hamilton, at the line. It is Colby Napier, the best free throw shooter for Transylvania, 93% on the season. And he gets the first. That's Napier's third point. He has one more on the way. He is a sophomore from Knott County Central High School. Got them both. Flawless form. Just a pure Kentucky shooter. It's a 7-point lead for the Grizzlies. Bostic with it. 16:40 on the clock, and it's a running. He's guarded by Napier, gives it to King. King shadowed by Simon Smith. King atop of the three-point arc. Nice pass. Samples lays it in. What a pass by King. That was read well, perfectly timed, and the Grizzlies lead by 9. 16:20 on the clock. Smith over to Green, left side of the arc. Napier unleashes a three from the top of the key. It hits almost every side of the rim before finding the arms of Lynn King. That's his 6th rebound of the game. Now here's Trey Flatt weaving through the C's part. The left hand is no good. King couldn't chase it with a dunk, and a foul is called on Hunter Penn. I believe that is his third. It is. First foul on Transy here in the second half. And that'll send Flatt to the line where he's 2 for 2 today. Those came early in the game, early first quarter. 16:03 left in the game. Missed the first. He's a 70% free throw shooter on the season. He's now 2 for 3 today. Coach's son, played for his dad, Scott Flatt, at Covenant Christian High School. Younger brother is a quarterback on the football team, basketball player as well. Made the second. 11 for Trey Flatt. He got a career high 23 2 games ago against Manchester. That was in defeat, but it was here in the Spurlock Center, and just a phenomenal shooting performance by Flatt. 15:50 on the clock. Napier fires it over to Caps. Caps dribbles laterally. There's 10 on the shot clock. Teague gives it to Smith. Smith goes baseline, up and under and in. 16 for Simon Smith. His career high is 23. He scored 15 his last time out, which was his second best scoring performance on the year. He's now bettered that. Bostic could not laser in that three, and it is an 8-point lead for Franklin. Teague underneath, and Simon Smith has 18. The Grizzly lead has been trimmed to 6 with 15 minutes to go in the game. Bostic directs from midcourt. Up comes a screen from Nathaniel Hoffman, who's scoreless today. Trey Flatt misses a three. Napier gets the rebound. He olayed Hoffman. Hoffman tried to get back, could not do it. Nice dribble by Green to get around Bostic. And up from the top of the key is Teague. He whirls into the lane. Left hand, too strong. Tipped back out by Smith. Green able to corral. Steps into a three from the top of the key. Missed it. Samples the rebound. 14.5 to go here in half number 2. Bostic shrugs off a defender of Teague, and the foul is committed by number 0, Matthew Teague. That's his second, and it's a immediate timeout with 14:28 to go here in the game. Grizzlies lead by 6. 14 minutes, 28 seconds to go here in the game in the Spurlock Center on Grizz TV, presented by Hubler Automotive Group. Franklin will inbound on the baseline. 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go in Ohio. Hamilton leads Bluffton 47-38. Here there's 14 and a half minutes to go. Well, less than that, 14:20, and a whistle from beyond the three-point line on Colby Napier. It's the third on Transylvania, and the referees in maroon in the bleachers on the far side of the floor did not like that call on Napier. Here's Crow. Transylvania's been on a bit of a run of late. That's deflected off of Green, then off of Samples. Flat barrels into the lane, trying to scoop it around. 5 on the shot clock, couldn't get it to go, and a whistle on the floor. And it looks like it's on Simon Smith, and it is. It's the first on Smith. It's the fourth on Transy. Franklin has been now scoreless for the last 2 minutes and 1 second. And they're 1 for the last 4 from the field. Samples, 15 seconds on the shot clock, just inside 14 minutes left in the contest. Here's Love attacking with 9 on that shot clock. Crosses over, and double dribbled. I was going to say he crossed over Caps, but he lost his footing and double dribbled, and it's a turnover by the Grizzlies. They've been better about that of late, but it is their 14th turnover of the game, which is 2 more than their average. Teague brings it up. Brian Lane calls out a play from the Transylvania bench. That pass, a miscommunication between Caps and Teague. Up the floor, Crow lays it in gently. A baker's dozen for Carter Crow, and it's 8-point lead for Franklin with just under 13 and a half to go in the game. Teague from the top. Further left to Caps. Now Simon Smith. The chasing three is no good. It also hit off the basketball stanchion, but I think they're calling a foul. We'll see. This is getting straightened out. Jalen Love heading to the bench. 2 referees confirming about what they saw. So it hit off the heel of the rim, went up and hit the basketball stanchion, holding the basket up. So it's an inadvertent whistle. The ball hit the wire, and now it's just Franklin basketball, which is what it would have been anyway. 13-17 to go in the game. Referee did a nice job explaining that to Brian Lane. Said what he saw. Here's Trey Flatt, tight along the sideline, draws the foul. No, he stepped out of bounds. He didn't draw the foul on Simon Smith. Smith held his ground well, and Flatt dribbled out of bounds, stepped on that sideline. And now it's Transylvania basketball with 13:50 to go in the game. Simon Smith, he's not afraid to shoot it. And then Flatt commits the foul, clearing out, bopped into him. It's the third on number 3, Trey Flatt. And Flatt is visibly frustrated. That's the 4th team foul on the Grizzlies. Simon Smith is now 2 for 8 from 3. So he has put him up. He hasn't always put him down, but he's shooting well overall. He's 7 of 16. Napier a 3. That's no good. There's a foul on the floor, though. And one of our referee explaining things. I guess it's getting a little chippy down low between Schroeder and Deere. And the foul is on Jacob Schroeder. That's the 3rd on Deere. It's the 5th on the Grizzlies. Glenn King back in the game. 13 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the game, and it feels like it could be a lot longer. Schroeder off the inbounds. Put an elbow into Deere, gives it up to Teague. Teague rises in the paint, missed off the back of the rim. Schroeder tried to tap it out. Rebound tried to be harangued by Smith, able to get it up to Napier. Now it's down low. Schroeder cleared out. King tried to get a hand on it, but could not. And Luke Schroeder has his first deuce of the game. It's back to 6. 12:44 here in the second half. Lynn King gets it to Flatt. Flatt from the corner, likes that spot, whirls around Smith, elevated and drew some contact. It's a push on Simon Smith, who didn't like the call, but is kind of more resigned to it. More of a, what are you going to do? Second on Simon Smith, 5th on the Pioneers. Both teams have committed 5 team fouls here in the second half, which is going at a much slower pace than the first. King looks to inbound it, gets it to Carter Crow. Up top now, left top rather, to Trey Flatt. Flatt guarded by Hunter Penn. It's an advantage. Flatt finds Jacob Deere, who misses a three a little long. King tips the rebound to himself. An offensive rebound for the Grizzlies. All the way out, Bostic's wide open. Missed it off the back of the rim. On the floor, Hunter Penn able to grab the rebound. Bostic reaches in and commits his first foul of the game. 6th on the Grizzlies. Still not to the under 12 yet. 12 minutes, 15 seconds left in this game as the second half creeps along. We've staying close though. Grizzlies got their lead to as big as 10, but Transylvania has been able to cut it to 6 a couple times. They haven't been able to get closer than that here in this second half, or at least not in the first 8 minutes, and they're not going to on this possession because Matthew Teague traveled. That's the 14th turnover by Transylvania. Teague's third. 12 minutes even to go. Bostic across the FC logo at center court, shadowed by the pesky Alex Madsen, the sophomore from Ponte Verde, Florida. King now attacking from the right side, leaves it outside. Bostic passes up the three, dribbles it in and handed it right to Hunter Penn. Now here's Madsen, over to Teague, off the glass, yes sir! 6 points for Matthew Teague. It's now down to 4, closest Transylvania's been since the first half. Reverse blocked by Penn, then the chaser's good by Flatt. 13 for Trey Flatt. That ties Carter Crow for the most by a Grizzly in today's game. Schroeder has to chase that entry pass all the way into the corner. Drives on Deere didn't have a chance on that shot. Penn able to corral it. Teague attacks. Left hand, no. Glenn King grabbed that with one hand and corralled it under his elbow. Quickly up it goes to Carter Crow. Crow shrugged off by Smith. Up top, Trey Flatt steps into a wide open three and hits it. 16 for Trey Flatt. A lead that was down to 4 has instantly jumped back up to 9 for the Grizzlies with 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the game. Plenty of time. Teague from the button. Into the corner, Schroeder dials up 3 and connects. He is now 5 for 5 from 3 on the season. A perfect 100%. 54-48, 10:20 left. Deere from the right side of the arc, gives it to Flatt. He has a screen from Deere. He misses the three off the back of the rim. Schroeder gets the rebound. That is his third. The rebounding advantage for Transylvania is 10 at the moment. Madsen skips it really high to Teague. He had to elevate. Schroeder from the top of the key misses his first 3 of the year, but the putback's good by Simon Smith. 20 for Simon Smith, 3 away from a career high. And the lead is down to 4. 9:40 left in the game. A lot of noise now from the Transylvania bench. The referee tells him to sit down. Doesn't tell him to stop cheering though. Bostic drives around Schroeder and the left hand is graced off the glass. 13 for Bostic. He is now the third Grizzly with at least 13 points. Teague off the catch. Looks down for Hunter Penn. Penn with 12 points but none in the second half finally scores. He has 14. It's actually his 4th point of the second half. He had one earlier. 10 of them came in the first half. The margin is back to 4. 9 minutes left in the game. This game's really picked up the pace too the last couple minutes. Jacob Deere. Here's Bostic. Shadowed by Madsen. Madsen creeps out on him, wearing that plastic mask protecting his nose. Bostic weaves through, finds Flatt, and then Simon Smith commits his 3rd foul. That's his 6th. And we have a media timeout on the floor. 56-52, 8:45 to go in the game. 8 minutes, 45 seconds to go on the clock here on Grizz TV, presented by Hubler Automotive Group. Franklin built up their biggest lead of the game here in this half, and it's been trimmed down to 4. As Len King attacks, whirling around, couldn't get it to go, and throws it off of Matthew T, got a bounce. King has scored 2 points, which is way down from what he has been doing. He's 1 for 3 from the field, now 1 for 4. He does have 8 rebounds, which is the team best. He also has a Franklin best 4 assists, but he hasn't had the scoring. That has been supplied by Bostic, Crow, and Flat. Here's Deere, who has 4 points off the bench, playing big minutes today, most of the season, and he draws some contact and a foul. I think it's on Schroeder. The battling down low has been impressive. Penn's had to battle it out with King and everybody. When Schroeder's come in, he and Deere have gone head to head, and now Deere at the line. He's 1 for 2 on the game, just now 2 for 3. This ties a career high for him. A Kentuckian from Union, Kentucky, went to Cooper High School. This could be a new career high. And it is. 6 for Jacob Deere. And the Union, Kentucky native looking to stick it to his fellow denizens of the Commonwealth. But they look to strike back as Green misses a 3. The rebound from the middle of the crowd is Simon Smith, and a jump ball is called. Smith can't believe it. And his Grizzly ball off the jump ball call. 2 hands went up there, and it's Franklin basketball. So Crow will look to trigger this. He's got Samples and Bostic. 2 point guards who play well together. Transylvania looking to apply some pressure. 2 possession game, 8 minutes, 7 seconds to go on that second half scoreboard. Samples pestered by Madsen at midcourt. Madsen doing well, keeping his hands lively but not fouling. Deere swings at Bostic, looks from the left top, misses a 3. The putback, rebound, King off the glass, no, it's still there. Bostic, the littlest guy on the floor, is able to find it in. Ryan Bostic has 15, 2 shy of a season and career high. Sophomore from Indianapolis, went to Decatur Central High School in the South Side. That pass intercepted by the Decatur Hawk. Ryan Bostic rises off the side of the rim, blocking foul called on Alex Madsen. That'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity, well, 2 shots. Timeout on the floor, full 1 called. 7:26 to go in the game. Grizzlies looking to stretch this back to double digits. Grizzlies, 7 minutes 26 on the clock as Ryan Bostic steps to the free throw line. On the season, he's 67%, but he's just 4 of 6. He doesn't attempt many free throws. Makes the first. 16 for Bostic. 17 for Bostic. That matches a season high. Ryan Bostic has scored in every game this year. He's made a 3 in 5 straight games, and he's for the 4th time in double figures. 10-point lead for the Grizzlies, 7 minutes, 14 seconds on the clock. Around the horn go Transylvania. Napier sent King swaying, and then Teague mops it up. That's 8 for Matthew Teague, who averages 8.3 per game. And 20th best in the conference, 4.9 rebounds per game. He's got 4 of them today. Samples tries the left side of the lane, gives it up to Bostic. 13 to shoot for the Grizzlies with 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the contest. Bostic dials up 3 again and does not find it through. Teague saying he got it off of Deere. Deere's applauding because it was off Teague, and Franklin will inbound with a fresh shot clock. Samples will trigger it. Deere, Crow, King, and Bostic are the 5 Grizzlies on the floor. It's Teague, Smith, Green, Schroeder, and Napier are the 5 Pioneers. Deere comes up and sets a screen for Bostic. Around into the corner, Samples. Deere is blocked by Napier. How he got there, I don't know, but he arrived with a vengeance, and now it's Teague firing inside. Napier could finish off this play with a nice bucket. However, he traveled. 6 minutes and 11 seconds to go. 8-point lead for the Grizzlies. Here is Samples from midcourt. Now it's Lynn King on the right side. Gives it back to Samples inside 6 minutes to go and just barely. King barrels down left side of the lane. Could not get the left-hander to connect. And now racing up the floor. Saved by Teague. Over to Napier. Napier hovering through the lane. Doinks it home. Colby Napier has 6. And it's back down to 6. Transylvania is just hanging in there, folks. 5:30 to go in the game. Bostic surveys the landscape. Crow weaves through. Flat pops out. Flat olays around Smith. And now the right side of the lane. Tried to poke it through. It ends up finding Crow. He's got 3 to shoot. He rises and splashes. 15 points for number 15 in white. Napier on the other end misses a 3 short. Smith had the rebound but couldn't claim it. Then King had it. Here's Flat. He has Crow towards his right. 3 ball, pow! 18 for Carter Crow. 11-point lead for the Grizzlies. 4:50 to go in the game. And Brian Lane and Simon Smith take a timeout. They need it. It's a full one. Right on the precipice. Can Transy rally, or the Grizzlies cruise on for victory number 4 out of 5? Back underway, 4 minutes, 45 seconds to go in this game. Jalen Green hounded by Flat. That pass picked off by Deere. Jacob Deere has played over 13 minutes in this game, most by far. Flat misses the three that time. In transitions, Teague. The Pioneers have time, but they can't dawdle. Ball's off the Grizzlies. Oh, it's a foul. That's the fourth on Trey Flat. First Grizzly in real foul trouble, and it's the seventh on Franklin. So now Transylvania shooting the bonus. Franklin's in the bonus too. So it's Matthew Teague going to the line. He is 52% on the season. Transylvania struggles at the free throw line on the year. And they make the first. Rattled in by Teague. He has 9. His season best is 17. He's had 10 points, or at least 10 points, 5 times this year. He had a really good 3-game stretch where he averaged a dozen early December, and he has 10. So it's back to single digits as the 3-possession game in favor of Franklin with 4 minutes and 19 seconds left in the game. Samples race up the floor. Crow plays it back, almost a 4 quarters type offense for Franklin as they try to give some space, milk some time. That pass a little too bold by Samples. King able to chase it down. Heady play by Lynn King. He has not contributed much in the scoring, but he has in every other facet of the game for Franklin. He's been invaluable today. Teague takes on King, takes the contact, and one! A dozen for Matthew King, or Matthew Teague. Third foul of the game on Lynn King. That's the 8th on Franklin. And this, if Teague can connect, would cut it to a 2-possession game with 3 minutes and 52 seconds left. So a timeout first, just under 4, the under 4 timeout. So again, the upcoming schedules for both of these teams. Franklin currently in 4th place or 5th, depending on how you count it. In the HCAC, they go on the road for the next 2 games. On New Year's Eve, they go to Earlham, who's 1-8, and that game's at 1 p.m. And then on Wednesday, January 4th, in the new year, they will go to Rose-Hulman over in Terre Haute. And the Fighting Engineers are 5-5. That tip is at 7:30. Then they come home to the Spurlock Center and play the Anderson Ravens, who are 5-5, on January 7th. That's Saturday. And then the Wednesday following that, the age-old matchup, Hanover comes calling at 7:30 on January 11th. For Transylvania, they are done after this for the year. You'll see them, Pioneer fans, in the new year. We'll see them next year. Literally, Earlham will be their first opponent. So Earlham's coming up. The Quakers get a visit from Franklin, then go to Lexington in back-to-back games. Then the Pioneers go to Defiance on January 7th. That tip is at 3 p.m. before going home, staying home for a little stretch. On January 11th, it's Mount St. Joseph coming to Lexington, and then Anderson comes to town the following Saturday on the 14th. The Ravens are again 5-5. Transylvania looking to rise in the standings, projected to finish 2nd in the preseason. They are currently in 6th place and are in a big threat to fall to 1-3 if the Grizzlies can hold. That's the if. Teague misses. Here's Samples. No fouling yet. Samples way up the floor to Deere, who lost the ball, regathers it, and lays it in off the glass. Career best performance for Jacob Deere, who has 8 points and 2 rebounds and a couple of big foul draws. And the Grizzlies lead by 9. 3.5 to go in the game. Teague. Underneath Penn, the Grizzly defense fell asleep. Chris Hamilton didn't like that one very much. And it's a 16-point lead, or 16 points for Penn. Jump ball called. Ball goes to Transylvania, and Samples commits a turnover. That is his 3rd. Looked like Carter Crow doing some coaching on the floor. Jacob Deere subs out. No major ovation this time, but it's a well-earned. A lot of players rise to give him a high five as he walks to the bench. 7-point game, 3:17 left. Here's Green. Quiet in the scoring column, could heat up here, but he doesn't get it to roll. Another rebound by Len King, his 12th. Here's King bringing it up across the floor. Penn on him. Everyone spreads for Franklin. There's 3 minutes left in the game. Double team on King. Inside to Crow. Timeout called by Hamilton. He didn't really want to do it, but it was just in the nick of time for Transylvania. He thought it was going to run out of time, and a timeout by Franklin. There's 2 minutes and 56 seconds to go. Grizzlies have a 7-point lead. Just inside 3 minutes to go in the game. 2 minutes, 56 seconds are left. Crow is inbounding for the Grizzlies, who have a 7-point lead. Bostic is able to elude the double team, which arrived just a tick late. Now Flat has the ball, 10 seconds to work. Underneath, Len King didn't corral it and it bounded out of bounds. And Transylvania can cut this to 2 possessions with any bucket here. And it's almost a must get. It's not quite, but close. 2:44 left in the game. Transylvania needing to get some momentum. Franklin clinging to this 7-point lead. They've given away some empty possessions over the last couple. And the Pioneers dent this lead. We're about to find out. Teague. Up top, Jalen Green. Shadows Samples, rises. King tried to block it, but Green held in the air just long enough, and his 6th point of the contest trims it to a manageable 5. Now here's Trey Flat, back to King. Franklin breaking the press with expert ease. Samples weaving back through defenders. Ed Madsen who will guard him. And now Franklin can milk 20 seconds off the clock. There's 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game. Samples shadowed by Madsen, 2:05 left. Here's a screen from King. Now Smith pops out on him. He has 8 seconds to shoot. And a foul is called on Simon Smith, and he doesn't like it. That is his 4th. And it's a one-on-one for the Grizzlies. So it's a 5-point lead. A made free throw by Samples, who has struggled at the free throw line this year. He's 1 for 2 today. A made free throw would make it a keep it a 2-possession game. 2 made ones would make it a 3-possession. Big free throws here with 1:59 to go in the second half. It's a 1-and-1. He makes the first. 9 for Cody Samples. The second is good. 10 for Cody Samples. Those 10 points go with 3 assists, a couple rebounds. He's 1 for 2 from deep. Teague driving left side of the lane, off the glass, in. Good take by Matthew Teague. Timeout taken by Brian Lang. Now give us a little check-in on the other game. Final, it got close in Bluffton. Miami Hamilton able to squeak out a 2-point win over the Bluffton Beavers, 63-62. Bluffton went off in the second half. They were outscored Miami Hamilton 40-27 in the second half. They needed 42. 4 starters for the Beavers in double figures. And Bluffton falls to 2-7, same record as Mount St. Joseph. By the way, today the anniversary of John Madden's death. Great broadcaster. Died a year ago today. Happier occasion for Denzel Washington. The actor's birthday is today. Minute 50 left in this game. Grizzlies by 5. Crow to inbound. Gets it to Samples. Simon Smith needs to be careful. He fouled out last game. He's guarding a little tight. Oh, and Samples turned it over. Smith picked his pocket and lays it in. It's a 3-point game. 22 for Simon Smith, one shy of his career high. Here's Lynn King, 90 seconds to go, 3-point game. King, 15 on the shot clock, drives on in, off the glass and in. Lynn King explodes to the rim. A big 2 points for Lynn King, who only has 4. 70 seconds to go. Teague shrugs off Samples, and the foul is on Samples. That's his third. It will be a 1-and-1 for Teague, who tried to go quickly to make it a 2-shot foul, but he has a 1-and-1. Crucial free throws here for Teague. He is 2 for 3 from the free throw line today. He has 14 points. Strong game by Matthew. The first is left short. Carter Crow gets the rebound, swatted away by Teague. He missed it, got the ball back, goes up again, and does not get it to go. King has it for a moment. Teague trying to reach in, 60 seconds to go. Franklin breaks the press, flat fell down. Crow had it for a moment, and it's off of Carter Crow. Great effort there by Hunter Penn, who swatted it off of Carter Crow. And with 53 and 2/10 seconds left, Franklin still has a 5-point lead, but it feels close. Transylvania is tenacious at the end. The Grizzlies, one of their calling cards all season long has been their toughness. And so 2 late game tough teams are going head to head here, and there's 53 seconds to decide it. Madsen brings it up. Right side, flings it back. Green somehow able to catch that ball. Napier steps into a 3, missed it long. Napier gets the ball back. It rolls over to Madsen. He floats it to Green. A foul is called on Ryan Bostic, who took out his landing space. It's the second on Bostic. It's the 10th on Franklin. So into the double bonus go the Transylvania Pioneers. Both teams are in the double bonus now. So 2 free throws coming up for Alex Madsen, who's scoreless today and is a 31% free throw shooter on the season, 5 of 16. The first is good. He rattled it in. The second. This would cut it to 3. 38 and 9/10 seconds are left. Money. Made them both. Quick subs by Transylvania. Out goes Napier. Out goes Smith with his 2 fouls. In comes Teague and Dakota Caps. It's a 3-point game with 39 seconds to go. Here's King. The trap arrives. King's able to get away from it. Now Carter Crow up to King. A defender fell at midcourt. He's back up. King over to Bostic. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 27 left in the game. Crow. Franklin is a little frantic here. Bostic at midcourt. King top of the key. Samples outside the 3-point arc. There's 17 seconds left in the game. Bostic almost had it stolen. Fires up a 3. This would ice it. Missed it. Rebound is Matthew Teague. 10 seconds to go. Transylvania could tie it with a 3. Jalen Green takes the 3. He missed it. Rebound Trey Flat. 3 seconds left. Foul called on Madsen, and Franklin can ice it with a pair of free throws. Third on Madsen. 2 free throws coming up for Trey Flat. And oh boy, that got tight there at the end. As Flat walks to the free throw line, has 2 of them, you would feel like it doesn't put the nails in the coffin, but it gets them started. Needs at least 1. The first is good. It threatened to fall out, but it stayed true and bounded in. Here comes number 2 to make it a 5-point game. Missed it. Almost got his own rebound. He did. It swept away from Bostic, and the horn sounds. Franklin able to beat Transylvania for the 5th time in the last 8. 74-70 here at the Spurlock Center. That stops a drought. Transylvania won the last time they played here, and Franklin gets it this time. Here is your final statistics. Franklin shot 44% from the field, 39% from three, 78% from the free throw line, where they were 14 of 18. Transylvania was 39% from the field, 15% from three. They were 4 of 26 from three-point range, including 1 of 12 in the second half. That's just 8%. They shot 62% from the free throw line, 8 of 13. Leading scorer for the Grizzlies was Carter Crow. Leading scorer for Franklin as a team. He led the way for Franklin with 18 points. He has 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 8, 50% from deep, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. Trey Flatt and Ryan Bostic both had 17 points. Bostic came off the bench. Flatt was 3 of 8 from deep. Bostic was 3 of 9 from deep. Cody Samples had 10 points. Jacob Deere had 8, and Len King had 4. Playing and not scoring was Jack Hendricks, who started and did not play much. He played 4 minutes. Malachi Archie was 0 for 2 in 7 minutes off the bench. Jalen Love did not attempt a field goal in 7 minutes. Logan Hudgens did not start, played 2 minutes, did not score, and Nathaniel Hoffman played 5 minutes and did not score. Transylvania played 9 of their 10 players. Leading scorer was Simon Smith with 20 points, 9 of 18 from the field, 2 of 8 from deep, did not attempt a free throw. Hunter Penn had a great game, 16 points, 12 rebounds, another double-double for him. Matthew Teague had 14 points. He was 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 6 of 12 from the field. Napier and Green had 6 points apiece. Schroeder had 5 off the bench, including missing his first three-pointer of the year, but he did make one. He was 1 for 2 from deep. Madsen had 2 points, both on free throws. Caps had 1 point, 1 for 2 from the line. Walker Kyle did not score. Rebounding advantage was Transylvania's, led by team high, 12 by Hunter Penn, 7 by Simon Smith, 6 by Matthew Teague. Lynn King had the game high, 13 rebounds for the Grizzlies. Carter Crow had 6, Trey Flatt had 4. Franklin assisted on 14 of their 24 field goals. Lynn King had the most with 4. Bostic and Samples had 3 apiece. 14 assists on 29 field goals by Transylvania. Matthew Teague had a game high 6. Transylvania stole the ball 12 times, 4 by Simon Smith. Franklin had 9 steals, 3 by Ryan Bostic. There were 7 blocks in the game. Franklin had 4 of them. Transylvania had 3. No one had more than 1. 37 combined fouls, pretty even. Franklin had 17, Transylvania 20. A lot of turnovers. Franklin turned it over 22 times. And again, they average just over 12 turnovers a game, so 10 more turnovers today than usual. Transylvania's turned it over 17 times. Those 22 Franklin turnovers led to 22 Transylvania points. Franklin scored 9 points off of Transylvania's 17. Transylvania hounded Franklin in the paint. 50-20 is their point advantage. They had a better of the second chance points, 17 of 7. Fast break points, 16 and 11. The Franklin bench outscored the Transylvania bench 25-21. Biggest leads of the game, it was pretty tight. Franklin's biggest lead was 11. That was with 5 to go in the second quarter, or second half. Transylvania had a 4-point lead in the first half. They did not lead at all in the second. The lead was changed 6 times. The lead was tied 4 times. Franklin led for 28 minutes and 34 seconds, at 71% of the game. Transylvania had the lead for 8 minutes. The biggest number was the scoreboard. Franklin wins 70-40, or 74-70. Franklin is now 2-1 in the conference. They are one of 4 teams with a winning record in the HCAC at the moment. Transylvania falls to 1-3, which drops them below, with Bluffton, drops them to 7th place. Franklin stays at 4th place and won't play again until New Year's Eve, where they go to Earlham. Transylvania is done for the year, and we'll see you in 2023 when they play Earlham at home. So long, everybody, from the Spurlock Center on the campus of Franklin College. I'm Jonathan Mathis. Have a wonderful New Year's, and we'll see you next year on Grizz TV, presented by Hubler Automotive Group.